Next up, we have Mr. CL Bryant, a nationally syndicated radio host and commentator addressing faith, culture, and American constitutional values. And I should mention our out-of-town guys get a little more time to speak. So come on up, Mr. Bryant. Let me get a shake here. God bless you, brother.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. Glad to be here with you. And I want to thank Pastor and First Lady for having us here tonight. And I want to thank my wife for joining me here. We've flown here from Florida, Port St. Lucie, Florida, to be with you. And we love this place. Sheriff Mack was talking about God, family, and country in the green room before we came out. And you should know that embodies, sheriffs embody those words, God, family, and country. Over the last 25, 30 years, I've done all of that I can to work closely with people who believe in that. I've served on 2 of President Trump's advisory boards. I'm a filmmaker, and of course, I served for 15 years as senior fellow with FreedomWorks, and FreedomWorks was the largest grassroots organization in the nation. And we boasted 6 million activists around this country. My job was to build, educate, and motivate those 6 million, and I think I shook hands with just about every one of them. Now, Annie and I were married at Mar-a-Lago about 3 years ago, so I'm a Trump supporter. You guys should know that. And how many of you believe and know that America is the greatest nation on the face of the planet, the greatest success story the world has ever known? But friends, we run a risk of losing our nation. And if America goes away, the question is, and it came to me from an Eastern Bloc refugee down in Bend, Oregon, several years ago when I spoke there. He came to me after I spoke, and he said, CL, if America goes away, where do people go? And Americans, you need to understand that if America goes away, where do we go? What do we do? What do our children do? What we're wrestling with right now is perhaps the loss of a birthright. A birthright that was bought and paid for with blood. My father was a World War II veteran. My grandfather, a World War I veteran. My great-grandfather fought in the Spanish-American War. This is my country, and I will be loathed if anyone takes this nation away from me without a fight. We must stand and we must fight. My friends, while you sleep peacefully at night in your homes, while our children sleep peacefully in their bedrooms at night in our homes, there are faithful men and women like our peace officers and our sheriffs around this nation who are out on those dangerous streets, and they are dangerous now. We live in perilous times, as Peter told us we would. And these perilous times we're protected from because of those men and women who stand on the front line. As we sang our national anthem tonight, you need to understand that at the close of that national anthem, there is a question. And that question that Francis Scott Key put in that national anthem was to all of us who would come after him, and to all of us who would inherit this great American birthright. The question was, oh say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Look around you, Americans. See what is going on in places like Minnesota. Look at what's going on there. And the question still has to be, how long will a nation so conceived as ours, as Lincoln asked in Gettysburg, how long could a nation so conceived and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal, how long can a nation so conceived endure? My friends, I pray that after this 250th anniversary of America, that 250 years from now, our great-great-grandchildren will be able to look back from where they came and say that my grandparents, my parents, they stood up for this nation, and the flag of this nation still waves over the land of the free and the home of the brave. That's how long our nation must endure. My friends, it is important now that men and women of courage find that courage, stand on that courage, and don't be cowed down by anyone who would want to push us off of who we are. You need to stand up now and be counted. You need to stand up now and be brave. I knew Charlie Kirk when he was 18 years old. When I was working with Freedom Works, he came to us with an idea to go to college campuses. I was with Freedom Works for over 15 years as their senior fellow. And we said, that's a great idea, Charlie. We basically patted him on the head, sent him on his way. Charlie was looking for us that day. 2 years later, we were looking for Charlie. I had gotten out of this game, and Sam Bushman called me and said, hey, we'd like to have you on Loving Liberty as one of our radio hosts, and you can still hear the show on Loving Liberty, and Sam talked me into doing it, he and Kathy Smith. I had to get back into this game after they killed Charlie. I had to do it. I couldn't sit down any longer, regardless of what the risk was. And Lord knows, it is a great peril. Many times, I've spoken all around this country and all around the world. Many times, I've shaken unfriendly hands, and of course, serving on the president's two of his advisory boards, we've had a chance to be in close with him. I was in the green room, and one of the gentlemen asked me, are you CL Bryant? I said, yeah. He says, you lost a lot of weight and a lot of hair, too. Didn't recognize me. But we shake unfriendly hands. And friends, where I come from, Shreveport, Louisiana is where I was born. Raised with my grandparents in the summertime. I went down there on a farm in Grand Cane. And the old man down there, my grandfather, was a great old guy, but he couldn't read his name if you wrote it in the sky. My father only had a third-grade education, and I doubt my great-grandfather could have read it all. But they instilled in me the fortitude to stand up for what is right, to work hard for whatever you got, and to be honest. My grandmother told me that, son, we don't have a lot of money. We do have land, but you can't eat the land. Don't sell it. And I held on to it. My whole point in saying that is this. All of us come from people whose shoulders we stand on. Let us not let them down. Let us move forward with grace, dignity, and courage as Americans, and let's preserve the American heritage for our young people. But as I travel across this country again to speak to groups just like you and large crowds, small crowds, all across this nation, Pastor and First Lady, I want you to know that it's always important that there are people like you somewhere praying for people like DJT and President Trump, Donald John Trump, and it's always good to know that there's people like you who are praying for people like Pastor Cummings and his wife who stand on the front line, and all of these sheriffs who are there to protect our rights. And so we must stand and protect them, because if we turn the sheriff's job over to a committee, friends, surely that is something that will not end well for us as American citizens. So the question that I have for you tonight as I leave you, because there are others that need to come and speak to you, but the question that I have for you here in Washington tonight is a question that I've asked many thousands, perhaps over millions of people throughout the world. But Americans, that question for you tonight is this: are there any patriots left in Washington, D.C., in Washington State? Is there anybody here who will stand up for God and country, who will stand up for America, who will stand up for the principles of these sheriffs? Then Americans, stand up, stand up, stand up. God bless you. God bless America.